Hey, welcome back, regular viewers. I hope everybody's having a hip-hop happy week. Regular shop is doing okay. The weather's cooled down right here, so things are going great. Today, we're going to talk about... I have been doing a lot of work with Neko rigs lately. Probably beating the drum to death, right? Yes. Move on, regular guy. Well, tough tookies. We're not moving on yet. I got one more thing I want to do. It's basic Neko rig setup here. We've got our homemade straight worm. We've got our Neko weight screw locked in the bottom, and we've got our little weedless hook here on a little rubber band here, right? And of course, we discussed this before. It goes down to the bottom like so. You cast it, goes bloop. I can't do it. There we go. And it goes down to the bottom. It hits the bottom, right? And then you bounce it along the bottom and stands up straight like this, and the tail wiggles thusly. But that's the basic thing. Well, what happened here was what had happened is that this thing got cut off on me. About that much of it got cut off, and I'll just keep usually using these cigar butts until they're nearly unusable. Like till anything below this, sometimes it starts to get a little dicey. But about halfway down the worm, I'm fine with continuing to use it. It'll still work. But what had happened is that it got cut off right here. So I just moved the hook till it was about the midway point again and kept using it. And I noticed that when I was reeling it in, it would start to get like this really weird swimming action, kind of like a lipless crankbait, right? So if you picture, I'm so cheap, I don't want to cut up this homemade worm I paid nothing for. Anyway, so the weight would hang down. This part would be out back straight, and it would start to wiggle side to side, wiggle, 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 wiggle through the water, right? So I said, that's pretty unique action right there. I wonder if I can make some lures specifically for that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Which brings us to this mess right here. That's right, I've already made some. I made a swimming shrimp, Neko shrimp here. It's a top pour mold, and don't worry about that little piece. It does the same thing, right? And I made a little, these guys, I should have trimmed this up. Where's your professionalism guy? Why start now? Oh, jeez. Sorry you put up with this. Okay, so anyway, just a basic minnow shape, top pour, two-piece mold, yada, yada, yada. We'll talk about that later. I got one all rigged up over here. So I'll give you the Neko shrimp, all right? It is a basic shrimp shape. Here we've got our screwed in weight, our weedless hook, our little rubber band, and when it goes through the water, it hangs like so. When you drop it, it straightens out and goes straight down to the bottom. It sits on the bottom, and the little tail flaps in the breeze, or the current, as it were. But then when you pull it up, it goes again in half like this, and you start to get that wiggle action, okay? I think I made this one a little too long. I probably should have made it one segment shorter, but whatever, it is what it is. I could try and cut off some of the face right here and make it shorter that way, but we're still in production mode. And then I wanted to make a Neko minnow, and that's going to essentially do the same thing. But for last but not least, for the Bayou trilogy, we need to make a crawfish. So I'm going to demonstrate for you how I did these by making our third version of it. This was like the test phase. And we're going to make a crawfish today. Oh, and I also ended up redoing the weights. This weight here, I had issues with it, how it screwed in. It took a lot to get it to set straight, which is key and important on this rig, is that this weight has to be straight. The weight has to be distributed straight in here. So I ended up, if you saw the short, I ended up making these little screw locks for the Neko weights. So it has a guide wire, so it should essentially screw in straighter. Let's find out.
Drum roll. Something like that.
Yes, and it does, in fact, go in nice and straight. A lot less ridiculous than how it did before. Okay, so I think we're going to win there. So, how are we going to make this lure, you ask? You ask.
Junk.
No, say, how are we going to make this lure, regular guy?
How are we going to make this lure, regular guy?
With
junk.
Junk, free junk that we had laying around. We got a windstorm the other day, And some limbs fell down in our yard. The regular kids here, the regular assistants, eldest and youngest, yes, we're very good. They picked up all the sticks. And so now we have a plethora of garbage wood. So this stick is not 100% straight, as you can see right here. But if it was a politician, I'd probably vote for him because, you know, that'd be pretty good for them. As I said, I think our shrimps are a little too long. I think this guy came out a little too long as well. They're both, how long are they? Why don't you measure it, regular guy? How about that? Why not? How long are they? Okay, let's find out. This guy is, what was that, 5 inches? Yeah, he's right at 5 inches. This guy, samesies, right at 5 inches. Okay, so we want 4 inches, which is less than 5. So let's put a mark on here. We probably got to cut off this stick where it is cracked, right about there. We'll get the straightest part of the stick. What's going on, young lady?
I want to make a present for the regular editor.
Okay, well, we're not doing that right now. We're making this.
Well, you have your own project, I have my own.
Is that how that works?
Sort of.
Okay. So we want this part of the stick right here. Over to the vise. All right, young lady, come here.
Yes, sir. Are you teaching me?
Cut this off right here.
Right there, you marked
Right
it?
there, yeah, right on the mark. Nice straight cut for me.
X marks the spot, but it's not an X.
No, that's a line.
Oopsies! That is not the perfect way to top. Okay, I sort of got it.
Right.
Now the top. Ouch.
Use the whole saw blade, okay? Beautiful.
Done!
Okay,
Okay.
let's get the next one.
What next one? Oh, the other side?
The t'other side.
T'other side.
Okay.
Let me saw.
So, but you're going to start here and you're going to push down and pull back so you get a nice line established, okay? Use the whole blade. There it goes.
It's so close. Oh no.
Okay.
Okay, I shouldn't do that. Next, lesson learned.
Yep, you want to go through it all the way so that we don't chip off a piece like that right there. But that's going to be okay for this one.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your help. High five.
Bye.
All right, so we've got our basic crawfishy shape to work with. I'm right at 4 inches, but I cut off this chunk of balsa to make the tail out of, and that gets us at 4.5, and I don't want it that long. So we are gonna cut this off here-ish. Because I want this shorter rather than longer. I want this whole package to be as short as possible. I keep trying to make smaller lures and they always end up bigger. Much better. Much better. The tail's not going to be a huge old chunk. Why don't you put it on camera, guy? A huge chunk like this, it's just going to, this is just what I'm going to make it out of. Okay, anyway. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the best part. What's the best part, guy? This shrimp already works. I tried it out. It does do what it's supposed to do. And it caught a fish. Here's the fish right now. There we go. I caught my first one on my new Neko shrimp. Hook's way down in there. He dropped it. He knocked it off when he was fighting. But that is what we got him on. So we're going to get a picture of him and let him go. All right. So let's make some crayfishy decisions on this guy. This is going to be the top of a crayfish looking down. Okay, and we are gonna, is that gonna work? Hold on, stop thinking. You'll weaken the nation, like always. No, I think we have to make the underside, because I need this to, it's got to be a top pour, which means, okay, so we're gonna have to do some interpretive dance here, I guess, with our crawfish. Okay, so the body is done here as far as what we're going to do to it. I'm trying to make a tail section here, like the tail that curls under, that actually helps the crawfishy fish swim. Okay, there's our tail. All right, I think our vicious crawfishes part here is done. Did you leave any glue in the glue? Okay, now our vicious crawfishes requires one more piece. To be an actual crawfish, it needs some claws. Let's get a little more glue down in that. Easy, easy with the glue, or it will be all over you. Mercury Super Glue Accelerator. There you go. Just a dab will do ya. Again, professional adhesive mercury activator. It sounds so cool. I need to get over myself. That's what happens. Okay, now for the claws, I found this little bag of these little wooden bits somewhere. And those are going to act as our claws. We shall make them a little more claw-shaped, but that is essentially going to be it. We're going to go over there to the sander and see if we can't sand that shape, or this pseudo claw shape, into it. Those are not terrible. This is a new carving tool I picked up. Luckily, it was claw-shaped. Pretty nifty. You know what I really need to do while I'm working on those claws? I need to seal this. So let me stop what I'm doing and do that. That should seal up nicely now. All right, our claws are done. And they're not that big. I mounted them on these 2 toothpicks again so I can seal the wood with some super glue. There you go. And I still managed to miss the plate. I go put this on the rotator and let it rotate, and I glue my fingers to it. Okay, so the last step in the mold making process, now that this super glue has dried, is we need to get a thin, clear coat of Osbang UV resin on it, just so that the plaster in the mold is not going to adhere to it. So in a terrible way, I'm going to try and apply some while it's rotating, whilst holding the camera. And this is not going to end well. I really should have a teammate for this one. And the reason you want it to rotate on here, have to put the UV resin on it, is because it helps it self-level before you let it set. So anyway, I'm going to continue to do that sans camera, so it actually looks nicer. All right, we're just going to let that rotate. The excess will drip off and hopefully land on the plate, except for over there. Terrible planning. There you go. But it will self-level nicely, so you'll get a nice even coat all the way around it, which is the plan, Stan. All right, regular viewers, it is mold making time. And today we're going to use a different kind of mold box because we got a different sort of mold here. And our mold box is going to be this piece of plastic. Why, regular guy? Why are you doing that? Why? Because I love you. Because of vice grips that don't want to work. Okay. This guy, I can't do my normal 2-piece mold style one where I stick it on the side and do half and half. This is going to have to be a straight in and lift it out situation because it's got the claws and whatnot that are weirdly, oddly, specifically shaped. Okay? So we got to take this out. Sort of. Take that out. Good. Now, 220 that sucker. Get it really smooth. Very nice. It's a very nice. Okay. And we're going to put a little bit of looby-doob in the form of petroleum jelly on the end, where we just made that imperfection, so that the plaster does not stick to it. Smather it around. Very nice. Okay. Put that in there. Same thing with the claws. Look at it. You can still pick your teeth with those. Just kidding. Don't do that. Okay, you just want it a little flat. So the crawfish, these are going to be facing down, so they're going to be like this. And the body, I guess we're looking at the underside of the mold, so it's going to look like that. I'll put these claws way back here. And then it'll be even shorter, but longer, but weirder. I guess we'll split the difference. We'll put it there-ish. One thing I do want to do is add this little guzamagama right to the tippity top so that I can remove this from the mold once the plaster is set. Perfecto. All right. It's actually chipping the UV resin off. Weird, wild stuff. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the whole thing. We shall see. Now for the star of the show. You know him, you love him. Big round of applause for Dad Plaster of Paris, or however you say that. Oh, that's the mud we're looking for right there. I think we should add a tiny bit more to this. So, okay, I got my cleaning water. Put about that much of that in there. I usually use the same mold, so I know how much to eyeball. This is different. I use this little broken brush here to make sure that the bubbles are popped. It's a pretty good bubble popper. Just level it out again. Okay. Push that down in it that far. And yes, those aren't perfect. We get you. We're going to line them up this way, like so. Just going to tap them down. All right, we'll let that set and we will have our lure. All right, we have successfully made a brick. So let's see if we can't get this guy out of here. That was the whole point of putting that in there, so that he would lift out, hopefully. There we go. Nope, it's coming. It's coming. We got movement. All right. Some of the more astute regular viewers may notice the tail is still in there, so we'll have to go and get that. Let's get the claws out before we cause any further damage. Okay, third time's a charm there. Good. Got that. Now this is just balsa wood, this tail here, so I don't know if it's going to come out in a whole bunch of little pieces. Yep, looks like that's what's going to happen. Great. Didn't think that one through. Was really hoping that would kind of slide out. All right, well, I'm going to keep trying to figure out what to do here, and we'll be back. All right, with these various tools of war, we were able to get it out. So there it is. Yes, we did try to burn it. It didn't work. I don't have a torch. I only have a barbecue lighter, so that's not enough. But it did come out of this mold, and it's all shiny over there. So that's really cool. We are almost on to the lure making phase of the project. In fact, we're so close. We're going to heat up our red dye number 5 or whatever number that is. And we're going to carve out these areas right here. Now I'm carving those down so that the legs have a little more to adhere to, so they'll, or the claws rather, have a little more to adhere to, so they will stay engaged with the lure hopefully longer before they go ahead and break off. Okay, next step is some more UV resin, which we have a plethora of right here. And the UV resin is going to act as our permanent mold release. I used to use a lot of other concoctions. My favorite for a long time was, what was it there? The regular editors out here. I'm not just talking to myself this time. Permanent mold release. What did we used to use? Polyurethane. That's right. And we'd have a polyurethane-a-thon, which it works. It still works. This is just quicker. So more quickest. The quicker picker upper. Oh, somebody else uses that? It's more faster. You can see that this is getting absorbed into our mold here, which is good. It's filling in those pores. I just had somebody ask me about that. I don't know what exactly they were getting at, but you do want the pores of the plaster mold to be filled in. Otherwise, your soft plastic goo here will stick to it, and sometimes it will ruin the mold. It'll stick to it to the point you can't get it to come off. So that is no bueno. But it really helps harden these peaks and valleys and such right here. Anytime you got something with a sharp edge, you want that really saturated, because that will eventually start to break on a plaster mold. That's a weak point. All right, I'm gonna bring that out into God's UV chamber, and we're gonna probably put about 2 or 3 more coats on it, just so that it gets nice and shiny. And then you can use the UV resin to actually fill in any pits that the bubbles left. Okay, so where are we at? Same place. Remember to wear gloves.
Where are your gloves?
They're over there. I know where they are. See, I just said where are the gloves? Over there.
Why aren't you wearing them?
Oh, because I know where they are. What's under here, you might ask? A completed mold. And the regular editor is still here. I want everybody to know, from the last time we just spoke, before I turn this back on, only a few moments have passed. And we now have a ready-to-go mold, right?
Correct.
How long did that take?
5 minutes?
And we fixed
If that.
we fixed the old bait caster, right?
Correct.
Well, do you remember what you fixed on the bait caster?
Some sort of worm.
Say the worm gear.
What was that?
What? That was somebody in the audience helping you with the suggestion. We fixed the worm gear. Oh, thank you.
I don't know. It looked like a zigzaggy pattern.
Yes, we fixed the worm gear in there by making a little spacer for it, which is the quick, dirty, and cheap way to fix it. But that's not important right now. So, and while we were doing that, while we were waiting for it to do its thing, this was sitting in the sun, and it is nice and smooth right now. So, I'm going to turn on a fan for ventilation.
So maybe one thing.
What?
Wow.
You didn't think it was dry, did you?
No. No, I didn't.
Hot dog in pajamas.
Oh, good. We got gloves and we got
We got gloves, we
eye
got ventilation.
protection. We got ventilation.
Eye protection.
Finally.
Okay, ready?
Step back.
It's not good that it's pouring out of 2 locations, by the way. It's not supposed to be doing
You
that.
didn't scrape it down low enough, I don't think.
Oh, terrible job. Terrible job. Ah. Aside from pouring terribly, so far we're on track here. I think we started this at, I don't know, what, about 9 o'clock this morning? And here it is, 2:30-ish, and we are about ready to go hit the water. So we're going to pour a couple of those dogs,
They're not dogs.
crawdads, and then we're going to hit the water.
They're not dogs.
Those crawfish.
There's the crawdad. Beautiful. We're going to trim up this little bit of flashing here. But while this is talking, let me heat it up again. Perfect, though. So the screw lock weight's going to go right in there. That's where our band is going to go, and it's going to hang thusly in the water, and then it's going to sit on the bottom, and these guys are going to sit up in there and go, hey, eat me! Okay. Man, I cannot pour that nice and straight. Oh well. I'll get there. Probably like 15 more, and it'll look real good. All right. Okay, while we're waiting for that to cool, I'm going to show you something here. So we can pour a laminate, obviously. We could pour a dark color under there or another color under there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a dark colored Sharpie or a green Sharpie here. It's supposed to be a dark green, but here we are. And we'll just add some green to the top of it. And it's going to change the overall color of the lure. Come down the claws here a little bit. Like that. Just add some contrast to it here, and we can add a little crawfishy kind of pattern to the back if we wanted to. Kind of put some stripes on it like that. And didn't do that on camera. Good work. Okay, so now we've added just a little bit of transition color to this. And we got to let it dry. The Sharpie will get all over your fingers. But once it dries, this is a permanent marker, of course, as we all know from where we've messed up and got it on our shirts or pants before. So this will stay in the water like that pretty good too. So just a little quick little tip. Okay, let's pull this last guy out here. Looks good every time. And then again, that UV resin finish makes it real nice and shiny on that side, as you can see. While we're waiting for this to cool, let me show you this rig. Okay, so the traditional method's not going to work because I got a tail on it, but I got these pliers right here. We're going to open this up like that. Okay, just took a little bit of figuring to get this to go, but there we are. Okay, now we're going to take our new and improved Neko screw lock weight, and screw that into there. And one of the regular viewers pointed out that you can add a little dollop of glue there, just a little dot of glue, and then that will hold it in place. This one's a little bit heavier. I got a lighter one. This one is actually a little lighter. I'm going to put this guy on instead. But despite my shaky hands, it is going in nice and straight because it's got that guide wire. And the eldest regular assistant is getting the boat ready because we are about to leave to go try this out on the water with the few hours left of daylight here. Hook that hook right through there and see how it's hanging. Okay. Teach your kids young to help you with the boat, loading it, unloading it, getting it on the trailer, rather getting it hooked up to the truck and stuff like that. It'll pay off in dividends and it boosts their confidence. And that's what's going on over there. Okay, this lure is ready to go. We're going to go hit the water. Oh, and this lure is also ready to go. Look at that. Ta-da! All right, let's show you how this swims here. Can you see this in the water?
Yeah, if I zoom in a little, it makes it clearer.
It's just like a crawfish getting away. And then if we just pull it along, see that it wiggles on its own and it's vibrating. It's vibrating too. You can't feel it obviously through the phone, but you can see the claws wiggling and you can see the body wiggling too. Just hangs there like a crawfish. This is the one that we painted with the or colored. Can you see the colors?
No, just the red.
Well, you can see how it's darker on the top now.
Oh yeah, I can tell that.
Showing up on camera. So there's that swimming minnow right there. That's the setup for it. Okay, so we got the swimming minnow tied on. Can you see that swimming?
Almost.
Go back over here. Hey, what are you kids doing?